Welcome to A Better HR Business, the podcast that looks at how HR consultants and HR tech firms grow their businesses and how they help their employers to get the best out of their people. Remember, for show notes and downloads, go to www.getmorehrclients.com/podcast. That's getmorehrclients.com/podcast. Okay, let's get started.
If you think back in your career across all the different jobs you've had, all the different companies you've worked in as an HR-related professional, whether that's recruitment or learning development, HR, compliance, strategic HR, etc., there's always been someone else or another function or another department that looks after the sales and marketing side of things for your business. And then you go in there and you do your thing, whereas that's developing the workforce, hiring the workforce, maybe it's offboarding the workforce, but it's always work coming to you and then you deliver that. When you move into running your own business in the HR space, then it's completely different. Suddenly the game has changed and now you're responsible for generating new business, generating revenue by acquiring new customers, clients, and marketing, getting the word out there about the business. And for many HR-related professionals, that's pretty tricky, because we are trained as professionals in the particular area. We've done lots of study, lots of work, lots of projects. And as I said, that work comes to you. And so it's not either a natural fit to do that sales and marketing side of things, or if it is, even if we're comfortable doing it, or if we've gradually built up that muscle over time, perhaps, it still takes time. That's one thing. So it's time and effort and not quite sure doing the right thing and stuff. But then also the game continues to evolve. The game changes. And so people talk about Clubhouse and doing webinars and emails and doing stuff on LinkedIn. There's always new tactics and strategies that continue to evolve. And you've probably seen how the LinkedIn algorithm changes so that fewer and fewer people see your posts that you write. Why is that? Well, they probably want people to pay for promoted posts, sponsored ads, things like that. Or maybe there are far too many people producing posts and content ever since COVID pushed everyone online. So there's always something changing. There's always something happening. So I've been noticing that across the hundreds of HR business owners and founders that I've been working with, the people who tend to have more success tend to take more action. And by that, I mean whichever marketing channels and strategies that they have chosen to best match their strengths and preferences and resources, they then take action and do more of that stuff. And so it's not just a small bit of marketing here and a small bit of marketing there, or a sales message here and a sales message there. It's a bit more consistent, frequent, regular, all of that stuff. And as I said, we're not necessarily trained for that sort of thing. So that is why I've created the HR Business Growth Hub. And so that is all about taking action and then also having access to new ideas and tools to be able to implement stuff faster and doing it more often. There are different aspects to the HR Business Growth Hub, but the biggest piece behind it all is the new HR BizBot. So that's done for you, AI, to do your marketing and growth planning and action taking. There's ChatGPT and there's AI tools out there, but the problem is that can kind of drive you crazy. A, just knowing what to ask for and working out what you need from it, and then B, refining it, tweaking it, and so that actually applies and is of interest to your target market. And so over the last year, I've been a bit of a mad scientist working through trying to refine all of those things behind the scenes, asking the right questions, refining, changing, tweaking, so that it becomes much better as an output. But then secondly, turning that into a software format so that you just have to answer a couple of questions. So it's kind of given to you, spoon-fed to you, given to you on a plate, answer these couple of questions, and bam, out pops your entire HR service outline, including maybe pricing. Or if you're developing a brand new product for the first time, maybe you're thinking about an informational product like a course or an informational document to sell. What is that? What's the target marketing? What's the positioning? What's the pricing? Answer a couple of questions and bam, out that pops. Or maybe you're trying to get ready for sales meetings and you're a bit nervous about it because who likes doing sales? So we built a practice session basically where you can have a mock sales meeting with someone and they're going to press you a bit. They're going to ask you some tough questions. You're going to have to handle that. But before that, we've also got a sales objections practice AI tool. Because let's face it, you're always going to get an objection or a question or a frequently asked question about your products and services. And so this particular tool will guide you through preparing and working out what will be your objections. Is it price? Your service is too expensive. or your product is too expensive, or it's too slow, or, oh no, my HR admin team won't like this. It's too much work for them. So can you be ready for that? Or, oh, my CFO won't see the value in this, or the CEO won't see the value in this HR initiative that you're proposing. So what's your answer to that? Or, look, we've done this before. It doesn't work. What's your answer to that? Or the workforce will not commit to these changes or will not accept it. They'll reject the organ, as they say. So how do you handle that? And there are answers to all of these things. You can be prepared for them, but if you don't prepare for them until you're in the meeting with someone, then good luck handling that well. So that's the reason that one's built. But there's all these different tools within the HR BizBot. And the idea is, A, it's about speeding things up, getting it done really fast and really high quality for you. But B, also enabling you to tap into new ideas and new approaches and into the power of AI. Because one of the other pieces to the HR Business Growth Hub is the bite-sized learning. And that is where I've taken all the different lessons and things, tips and strategies that I would give to people through consulting work. I put that in there so that you can look for different ideas and approaches and then use the AI to implement it. So the reason it's bite-sized is that, do you really want to read huge document, huge War and Peace thing to understand the strategy behind things and the philosophy? Or do you want to get the idea, go, I could see that could work for our business. Now I'm going to use the HR BizBot done for you AI tool and just make it happen, implement it. So some of these strategies that can take months to think about, plan, etc., could you do it the same day? Honestly, that's the idea of it all. I mean, AI is incredible. So if you combine those two, it's super powerful. And then another aspect of the HR Business Growth Hub are all the tools and templates. And so you might be trying to prepare for a case study. So we've got a template in there that will help you develop a nice case study, but it's done in a way that you could potentially upload that to LinkedIn as a post and show a nice, beautiful looking case study that sells off your expertise and wisdom and wins that you get for your clients. So it's not just this boring, dry article that sits somewhere on your website that no one ever reads. Let's turn it into something that could be marketable and generate new clients, new business, new revenue. There's all sorts of very cool templates in there, but the idea again is action taking, speed, get the idea, understand how it works, and then implement it. That is the way you're going to have a really great 2025 and beyond. Also in the HR Business Growth Hub, we've got the masterclasses. So they're regular sessions whereby do a bit of a deep dive into stuff. So how do you get paid in full or on time? What's the power of AI for your consulting work? Partnership strategy stuff, but things that I implement with clients. They tend to be larger clients. Learnings I've taken from them, and then you could use those ideas and implement them in your business. And so they're offered on a pretty regular basis, typically monthly, where you can get in there and get a deep dive on a hot new topic and think about stuff from a deeper level, try to look for the future. Because again, the HR Business Growth Hub is all about speed and helping you remove roadblocks so that you can take action and get faster results. But also, from a bigger picture, is how can you grow your business into the business you really want it to be? And again, it's different for everyone. Some people want to be able to build a large team, a nice office, get the team events away, and eventually sell it as an asset due to a systemization, etc. Others want it to be a solo thing for the rest of their life, have enough money, work, interest, all that sort of stuff, but not have it stressful, having that nice balance. And then, all in between. Others might just want product businesses, so information courses, documents, libraries, that kind of stuff. The world's your oyster, but the trick with the HR Business Growth Hub is that it gives you the ideas, the concepts and strategies for you to make all of that stuff happen, all that great stuff, get that vision happening, but then using tools, templates and AI to implement it quickly and just speed up the process. You don't need to wait so long these days. So that is the HR Business Growth Hub in a nutshell. I do urge you to check it out. It's on the Get More HR Clients website. The last piece that I would say to all of that is it's a living, breathing resource hub. So if you say, Ben, I think I would like a new AI tool in the HR BizBot to generate a new, sales brochure. Can you do that? Yep. Pretty quickly. Now that we've just gotten so good at trying to refine and define it all, we can get that stuff happening quite quickly for you. So that could be added to the hub, no problem. Same with templates and bite-sized learning. So living, breathing resource, and people are really enjoying it and finding it useful, and I encourage you to do the same. So go check it out.
Thanks for joining us today on A Better HR Business, the podcast that explores the world of HR consulting and HR tech businesses. For show notes and downloads, go to www.getmorehrclients.com/podcast. That's getmorehrclients.com/podcast. Remember to subscribe and share the show with any friends who are busy growing a HR business. Thanks, and see you next time.